I think education is the most important thing for a successful future. And if the children don't get a good education, I think they're almost doomed to live not very successful lives or very poor lives. And I think the more education they have, the more opportunities they will have to be able to have a more pleasant, happy life. My name is Hollis Burkhardt, and I'm an American. I live outside of Boston in Massachusetts. And yes, I've been coming to Nepal since 1998.
वेकाका अमेरिकाई नागरिक पुलिस बुढा देदस नेपाल छाया वेकल नेपाल थालिङ लिसे यलया सामुदायिक स्कुले बोना चोपी बोमितेत शैक्षिक सामग्री ग्वालियान वैचुना दिकुतु
I came in 98, and then I met Dashlal Maharjan at that time. And after 14 years of our writing back and forth, I came back to Nepal. Mm-hmm. And then I started seeing the need for help with the schools. And I asked him where I could be helpful, and he started taking me to different schools to help. I came back in 2012 after 14 years and met Dashlal's whole family. And right after that, I just had this clear vision of I need to be of service. I need to be able to help here. And so the next day I asked Dashlal where could I help, and he took me to Lali Bikash, one of the government schools. So I started raising money. Initially I was going to just do this myself. But then when I flew home, I started thinking about it, and I have so many friends who are eager to help, but they don't know anything about Nepal or about the needs of the students here. So I started emailing different friends, and it grew until now I have at least, probably I get contributions every year from maybe 30, 40 different friends. And if I don't contact them, they'll reach out to me and say, isn't it time? Don't you need some money for us to give more money for Nepal? After I started working with Dashlal with Lali Bikash, then every year what he would do is he would go and vet different schools, check out the schools and see what the needs were, contact me, and we would decide what we could do, and I would do the fundraising at home and then wire him the money. And he's the best manager for this, because what he would do then is he would go to the tailor or go to the shoemaker or go to wherever and order everything we needed and manually bring it all to his house, and then either he would distribute it, or if it was going to be at a time that I would be here, I would be able to go to the school with him and hand these things out.
2072 साले नेपाली बोगु गोर्खा पोखा च पीडित जुपिन्तन वेकल गुहालिया नदी गुख अबले नेपाल मण्डल टेलिभिजन पाखे सञ्चालन जुगु हेल्प मिशन पाखे वेकल गुहालिया नदी गुख अबले वेकल विशेषयाना बुङमती चोवार वा देशे चोपी पोखा पीडित तेत तहरा देकेको लागि गुहालिया नदी गुख
So when the earthquake happened, obviously I'd been, by that point, been here several times and so connected to my Nepali family. I was so nervous when I heard about the earthquake. And luckily within one day they contacted me and told me they were safe. But I kept seeing about the devastation in the country and how extreme it was. And my friends were more generous than ever to be able to help after the earthquake. So we were able to provide Quonset huts. I'm not sure what you'd call them here, but huts, homes out of metal for the people whose homes had been destroyed during the earthquake. And it just seemed there was such an incredible need for it. So that's where we, instead of helping the schools that year, we worked on helping people have homes.
सामुदायिक स्कुले बोमितेत शैक्षिक सामग्री ग्वालियान विचना दिम होलिस थुक्सी यल दुपातिया कृषि उदय आधारभूत विद्यालय खुइम बोमी अथे वचु हाइतिया समता शिक्षा निकेतन या सोसव नेम बोमितेत शैक्षिक सामग्री ग्वाली लहलाना दिगु ख अथे होलिस थुक्सी धाडिङ स्वान गाउँ या महालक्ष्मी बेसिक विद्यालय चे छम बोमितेतन पोसाक लाका ब्याग थज्यागु शैक्षिक सामग्री ग्वालियाना दिगु दु
This visit, because of COVID, I hadn't been able to come for 3.5 years. And so this year we were able to, I still had been fundraising every year, but we've just been waiting until I could come back. And so Dashlao found 3 different schools. He's excellent at finding the schools with the greatest need. And then we visited all 3 schools and were able to contribute at different schools, different things, but generally we had backpacks made for the students, and some schools school uniforms, and at one school shoes and stationery, pens, erasers. I think those are all the things. I love going for the distribution. The students are always so enthusiastic and so happy and grateful to get these things that they need. All I see is the government schools. I don't really see the boarding schools, so I think there's a lot that can be done for the government schools. I think that's why I primarily help with the government schools, because I think there's so much need. But each year I come, I see some improvement in the language, the kids, the way they can speak English. Like this visit, they were very fluent in their English, and in the past, not so much so. So I think things are getting better. I'd like to believe that. But I imagine here in Nepal, as in the United States, COVID took quite a toll on the educational system. And in the United States now, when they've tested students, they're much less, they're not very good in some of the subjects because they were doing it all from home. So I would imagine in Nepal it would be similar, and it'll take a while for them to get back up to speed.
पेसा कथा साइकोथेरापिस्ट ज्यातिमा ने निदय होलिस बुढात सन् 2013 नेसे सामुदायिक स्कुल या बोमितेत शैक्षिक सामग्री ग्वालियान वैचना दिगु तुसा आत्तक वेकला जिगुनी मल्याक स्कुल या बोमितेत ग्वाली यान्दी थुंकुगुदु पिने चोपी पास्पी पाखे ग्वाली मुंगा थ नेपाल वया ग्वाली लहला खना तस्कहे लस्ता जादगा होलिस थयदी
I get very overwhelmed. In fact, last time when we just went to the school, it had 350 students, and they all sang the national anthem, and I almost cried. And then I had to speak to them, and I told them, I said, this brought me almost to tears, because it was so emotional just to see all these students and knowing that we could manifest this sort of change from 7,000 miles away from the United States. And it was very cute, because afterward, 2 of the girls came running up to me and said, "Oh, you were so emotional." And I said, "Yep, I am, and it's because I'm happy." So they're tears of joy.
भविष्यमा नेपाल वया शैक्षिक खेले गुहाली यागु होलिसिया योजना दु
I expect to come back next year. And just more of the same, that I will come and I'll stay with my Nepali family. They've adopted me, I've adopted them. And we also always go on a trek, the two of us, and then we go to however many schools that we've decided to fund for that particular year. So as I said, I already have people. In fact, when I posted some of the pictures on Facebook of the schools we visited, I already had friends who hadn't given before saying, how can I contribute? How can I donate? So that's very encouraging to me, that it will keep growing and we'll be able to raise more money each year to help more schools with basics. I love Nepal. I love the Nepal people, and I'm always so happy to be able to have the opportunity to be here.